In this documentary, we'll explore the economic challenges that are slowly eroding the American dream, one paycheck at a time. We'll delve into how soaring housing costs, crushing student debt, and the indifference of the political elite are all contributing to a crisis that has left many Americans without a viable path to financial security. Why Americans have no economic future. Housing and rental crisis. Shots of suburban houses with for sale signs, crowded apartment buildings, and news articles on skyrocketing rents. The rise in home prices and rents across major cities has created a housing affordability crisis that leaves young families, low-income workers, and even the middle class without realistic options. The question many Americans are asking is, why has housing become so unattainable? The average rent in major U.S. cities has increased by over 30% in the last decade. Factors like stagnant wages, speculative investment by corporations, and limited housing supply have contributed to an environment where housing costs consume up to half of some people's income. As a result, many Americans are left with few choices: move further away from job centers, settle for substandard housing, or struggle with homelessness. It's a cycle that seems almost impossible to escape. Wealth and education. For generations, Americans were told that education was the key to success, a ticket to a better life. But in today's economy, that narrative is showing cracks. The wealth disparity in America means that the quality of education a child receives is often tied to their parents' income level, creating a system where economic mobility is increasingly limited. Wealth inequality has deeply affected access to quality education, from the preschool years to college. Well-funded schools in affluent neighborhoods have more resources, better teachers, and updated facilities, while schools in poorer areas struggle to provide even the basics. This disparity only deepens the cycle, as those who can afford a good education gain access to better job opportunities, while others are left behind. College and consumer debt. Student debt is an issue that affects more than 44 million Americans. Student debt affects over 44 million Americans, with many owing tens of thousands just to start their careers. But what happens when those jobs don't materialize or don't pay enough to cover the cost of that education? Many people are simply paying off interest without ever reducing the principal amount of their loans, leaving them trapped in a cycle of debt that eats away at their economic future. When student debt prevents people from buying homes, starting families, or saving for retirement, it's not just a personal issue. It's a societal one, affecting the broader economy and entire communities. While individual Americans struggle with debt, the U.S. government is in its own financial crisis. This debt comes with consequences, including limited funding for social services, healthcare, and education, all areas that Americans rely on. The cost of this debt will eventually have to be paid, either through higher taxes, reduced social services, or inflationary pressures. As the government spends more on debt interest, the resources available for public support systems shrink, further impacting those who need these services the most. It's a burden that falls disproportionately on middle and low-income families. Why politicians don't care. If these issues are so pressing, why aren't politicians doing more? The priorities of those in power are often influenced by those who fund their campaigns. As a result, policies that would alleviate economic hardship, such as affordable housing initiatives, debt relief, and healthcare reform, are often sidelined in favor of maintaining the status quo. Many Americans are left wondering, if politicians aren't going to fix these issues, who will? The economic future for millions of Americans appears uncertain. As wages stagnate, housing becomes unaffordable, and debt grows unchecked, it's clear that systemic change is needed. The American dream is built on the idea that anyone, with hard work and determination, can succeed. But until these issues are addressed, that dream may be nothing more than an illusion for countless Americans. Thank you for watching this documentary and taking a closer look at the challenges facing our nation. Thank you for watching. If this documentary resonated with you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with others who may find this information valuable.